Good morning, wonderful people, great Biafrans, wherever you are on this very planet. I welcome you to a very special program this morning. Today is the 9th day of March, the very holy day of Shabbat in the year of our Lord 2019. The time now is 2 minutes past 8 a.m. in London. And I believe the same number of minutes past the top of the hour in Biafra land and wherever you are listening from this very day. I say good morning to all of you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night to some, because believe it or not, some people, it is their midnight around now, but they are still awake listening to Radio Biafra as we do religiously every blessed day. And as I welcome you, I also ask you to welcome those who are around you, because this is a very special live presentation on the day that we have sworn and vowed to make sure that Okezie Ikpeazu is removed from office, and all those who are in support of Operation Python Dance. I understand that some of us are still ignorant of this very fact. Some of us, either through hunger, apathy, or ignorance, have forgotten what the likes of Okezie Ikpeazu did to this very noble IPOB family, this very peaceful IPOB. They invited our Fulani to come into our land to kill our people. Some of you have forgotten that courtesy of Okezie Ikpeazu, we are still being detained till this very day. Abductions and killings, all the dead bodies in the borough pits in Aba, all of you have forgotten. Are you asking me to allow such a person to continue in office? You must be mad if you think so. You must be insane if you think so. That means you have not learned anything at all. That means you do not understand what this very struggle is all about. That means you have covered yourself in a cloak of ignorance and stupidity, and we won't allow it here. Anybody involved in Operation Python Dance will pay very dearly for it. We are warning you now, so you go and warn those people. Not tomorrow, when action is carried out against them, you will come on social media to start lamenting like the idiots that some of you are. If you're in IPOB, we follow a command and control structure for a reason. Somebody cannot be bringing the army to kill you. Station them in Asa. Station them along basically every kilometer. On most of our highways, albeit dilapidated highways, is full of Fulani checkpoints with deadly intent. They harass, they intimidate, and they kill on a daily basis. And you're telling me that those who are responsible for such state of affairs should be allowed to continue? Then you're insane. Don't know what you're talking about. We must continue, and we must pray this very morning, as always, to dedicate this very program to the Most High Elohim, that His will may be done upon our lives. Always, every blessed day of our life, because without IPOB is nothing. And this morning we shall endeavor to educate ourselves as to why we do what we do and how we do it, because some people do not know. But we must remind them. As always, Radio Biafra can be received via Radio Biafra app, which you can install on your phone and listen at your pleasure. You can also join us via Facebook. You know, we were heavily sabotaged last night. Facebook, the Yoruba people working for Facebook, decided to pull down our program last night. Hence, this very program did not terminate as it should on Facebook, but it did on other platforms. If you go to www.radiobiafra.co, radiobiafra.co, we are there. If you go to www.ipob.org, ipob.org, you can also get us there. Once you log in, you start hearing my voice. If you also go to biafratv.co, we are also there. The same applies to biafratimes.co and biafratelegraph.co. Any of those platforms you go to, you should be able to listen to us. We are on TuneIn. We are also on Streamer Radio as well. If you want to listen to Radio Biafra, you can. It is very, very easy. And of course, we are on CHK across the length and breadth of Biafra land. And I welcome you wherever you are. Today is a very special day in the sense that our life as a race, as a people, is hanging in the balance. Anybody who doesn't understand that now is living in another world, is inhabiting another planet. Let me repeat this very morning. Our very essence, our existence as a race is hanging in the balance. If we allow Fulani Janjaweed, Fulani headsmen, Boko Haram, ISIS in West Africa to come into our land to determine who occupies government houses, then we are gone. And as I keep saying all the time, some of you no longer come to Radio Biafra with your pen and paper. But I suggest you do this very morning so you can refer back to it all the time. Not just to listen, to look for something to gossip about or to look for something to make yourself relevant about. Listen and learn from it. That is why we are here. And we will continue to be until Biafra comes and beyond. But we must pray. We must call upon Elohim. Hear our voice, O Creator of the heavens and the earth. In this prayer, this very pivotal morning in your land of Biafra, we ask you to preserve our life from fear of the enemy, because they are everywhere. They have come as they have been doing since that you stopped them from a full-scale invasion of your land of Biafra, because the land of Biafra belongs to thee and only thee, Chukwokika Biama. Elohim Adonai El Shaddai, the giver of life and the keeper of those that believe and trust in him. You will hide Biafra from the secret counsel of the wicked from the north and the duplicitous west. You will shield IPOB from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity. All they do is to whet their tongue like a sword and bend their bows to shoot their arrows and even bitter words, that they may shoot in secret at the perfect. Suddenly do they shoot at those who are innocent without any fear or trepidation. They encourage themselves in an evil matter. They commune of laying snares secretly. They say, who is going to see us? We can do anything we like in Biafra land. Nobody will ask questions, and the world is not asking questions. Our people must be alive to this, that only the Elohim can rescue us from this mess that, no doubt, our sins led us into. You will stop Fulani today in your land of Biafra. How you are going to do it, we do not know. But all those who conspired to kill the innocent, the Okezipazos of this world, the devil mahis of this world, they will be covered with shame and disgrace. APC will be covered with shame and disgrace on this very day. They have come to invade your land. And the same way that the Assyrians descended on Israel and was repelled, that is how you repel these agents of darkness on this very day. But above all, you will give us common sense and the ability to reason. That is all we ask of you this very morning from here. We ask you, O Elohim, on this very holy Shabbat day, to give your children common sense, because we have been ravaged by hunger and servitude. We have become slaves to those who should be serving us. Come and rescue your children. Give us the heart and the fortitude to endure. Give us the grace to understand what you're doing in our lives. But above all, give us a sense of discernment, that we may know and distinguish between those who are our enemies and those who are our friends and those that mean well for us. The arrow that the Fulani will shoot today will fall upon them. Their deceit will consume them. The eyes of the world, O Elohim, you will open it, that mankind may see the level of evil, all the wickedness going on in Biafra land, that these may propel the conscience of mankind to agree and to accede to the establishment of an independent state of Biafra. Only you can do it, and no other. That we may rejoice in thee, that we, the righteous in IPOB, may be glad in thee, O Elohim, and trust in you always. And our hearts shall glorify in the triumph that only thee can bring. And our enemies will return to the Sahel, to the desert from whence they came, with their tail between their legs, that we may adore your ways and praise your holy name, now and forevermore, we pray. He said, we must proceed, we must continue. And there are things happening even through the night which we must bring to the attention of the world. And for those who do not understand the potency of what we are doing, let me assure you categorically that the days of Jubril are numbered. That I can assure you. And as I speak, you will write it down. Most of our problem stems from the fact that our entire essence and being have now been consumed by not any semblance of priority in terms of us working towards extricating ourselves from the damnable zoological republic, but we have been subsumed in a world of buying and selling, where we expect instant results there and then. Once the result is not available, then we capitulate and we give up. I know that this is a very unique problem with our people, but this is freedom fighting. It is about trying to save a nation. It is never easy. It is very, very difficult. Confusion will reign upon confusion until that very day when our independence as a nation will be announced. But let me also remind you of what happened in the Bible and the scriptures. Moses led the children of light out of Egypt from bondage and damnation. All the miracles that Elohim performed along the way on the long and arduous march into the promised land, they were never satisfied. Each step of the way, they kept grumbling. And the journey that could have taken a few days took them a very long time, 40 years, to accomplish. The same thing is about to happen to us. People moan and complain for no reason. People wake up in the morning for no discernible reason. They find an excuse to be bitching all over the place. Sometimes I say to those who are around me that we do not need any more proof as to our bond, or should I say, common ancestry with our cousins that inhabit the Holy Land of Israel this very day. Exactly the same thing. You must complain about something. Go right, you complain. Why not left? Go left, you complain. Why not right? Let us go straight. No, let us go back. No. Always looking for something to complain about, rather than following a divine instruction. Follow this path, it leads you into life. That is what we must understand, and that is what we must come to appreciate. This very day, our land is under siege. And some of you are not asking yourselves these questions all the time, which I do ask myself. Why is it that the military can come and invade the home of civilians? The military, not even the police, whose job it is constitutionally to maintain law and order, not the army. The army is there to defend the nation from external aggression. This is what I keep saying all the time. I don't know what is wrong with the brain of we black people. I cannot understand for the life of me what is wrong with us. It is very, very shocking. You, all of you listening, both IPOB and non-IPOB, both Biafrans, zoo animals, and people from all over the world, you are all witnesses to what is happening in the damnable Zoological Republic. You can see what the Fulani army is doing to innocent civilians on a daily basis. On every blessed day, you can see what is happening. If they stop you at the checkpoints, you don't agree to stop, they will shoot you dead, you will die. Nobody will complain. Nobody will talk about it. The courts are there, covering up for a dictatorship run by a Sudanese man. All of you are witnesses. And what can you do about it? The answer is nothing. When solutions are being preferred as to how these things can be dealt with, instead of you to comply and obey a simple instruction, you are busy bitching all over the place. Looking for something to write about. Do you know that freedom fighting is multifaceted? There are aspects, and you must be pursuing different agendas simultaneously to deliver one simple goal. Are we going to demonstrate and then Biafra will come? The answer is no. Are we going to rely on diplomatic overtures alone? The answer is no. Are we only going to rely on guns and bullets? The answer is no. But a combination of all these factors together will deliver what we are looking for. If you're not familiar with the history of liberation struggle, please, I recommend before you come to IPOB, go and study how people won their freedom. Southern Sudan, that is free today. Southern Sudan, they fought for 30 years. 30 years. We only fought for 3 years. People remember their shops and their businesses. Oh, my house in Kano, I want to go back to. I have a house in Lagos, at Ijora. At the back of the gutter, there is a small piece of land I bought there. We fought a war for only 3 years and we collapsed. Do you know that not once, not twice, not 3 times, not 4 times, have very senior politicians in the West, in Europe, said to IPOB delegation, if only you people could have hung on for another 6 months, Nixon would have made a declaration on Biafra. But we gave up as usual, having lost 3.6 million people. And people are busy every day writing and yapping. If you don't understand something, you ask questions. It is not every strategy that we'll announce on air. I keep saying it all the time. It goes in through one ear, it goes out of the other. You don't understand. You don't want to understand. It is that way that you see it. If it is not that way, then something is wrong. Who told you that? So everything that CIA does, they will come on CNN and on ABC radio and be yapping it to the whole world. If they want to go and apprehend the terrorists somewhere, they come and announce it to the world. This is what we're going to do before they do it. Just follow simple instructions and stop giving yourselves headache for no reason. Our land is under siege. That is our concern. People are dying every day. That is our concern. That is our concern. People are being kidnapped from their homes in the middle of the night. That is our concern. People are in detention. Right now, as I speak, that should be our concern. And make sure we deal with those that made these things possible. Who are those people? Okay, Zibazu, Dave Umahi, Willie Obiano, all the Southeast governors. And some people are saying, oh, why should I say that all those serving in South should be? Why wouldn't they be? Have you heard them before go on Twitter to talk rubbish against their people? Against those who are agitating? Can't you reason? Can't you use your faculties for once? Have you ever heard Wike before come out to criticize Avengers? Have you ever had any of them come out before to talk rubbish about those who are fighting to liberate them? Some of you don't no longer reason. I don't know if it's because I spent 4 years in off air, 2 years of which was in prison. That this IPOB that used to reason before, IPOB will come on air and tell you, do not say anything on air that will enhance the capability of our enemies. Now you want everything exposed for you. Sometimes I don't even know who some of you are working for. I don't know if you're working for IPOB, if you're working for the zoo. Unbelievable. Our concern this very day is to ensure that those that brought Python down, that they pay heavily for it. Dave Omahi and all the rest of them. Okay, see, because if you don't, if we allow them to continue, then just tell me our purpose. Just tell me, imagine what they will do to us. Just imagine it. Contemplate what they will do to us. If we allow them to remain in power, imagine what they will do to us. If we allow APC to win in Imo, imagine what will happen to us. If we allow Okoro Hacha's son-in-law to get into, imagine what will happen to us. That time you come back on Facebook and be writing rubbish. When I told people that voting doesn't work in the zoo, did you believe me? You didn't believe me. But that has happened. It's if we had known. If we had known. I am telling you that we are looking for an excuse to go into the mode of revolution. Today will give us that very excuse. Do you understand? That Jubril al-Sudani was rigged back into power by the Fulani Caliphate, by the cabal led by Abba Kyari. And nothing happened. It's not the same thing. Because a sizable proportion of the population, the control of the media resides with the West, with the Yoruba people. Half of Yoruba are Muslim. Anytime I say something, go back and reflect upon it. I don't want an IPOB, a group of Biafran people with a what I call tabloid mentality, sensationalism, just the headline. Once you read the headline, it's all over. That is nonsense. Go through the article, digest it and analyze it. See if it makes any sense. I think what we have become is more or less a tabloid movement. All your interest, just the headline. Once you read it, you come up with a lot of how can I put it? Conjecture about even sometimes what doesn't exist. We must switch away from that and ensure that today, that Imo State doesn't fall in the hands of our enemies, and also that Ebonyi State, that we remove Dave Umahi from there. Very, very important. Let me tell you what will happen once they are removed. Once they are removed, any incoming person will now understand that if they mess up, that is the end of them politically. Don't you know that? Do you not understand that? Or you want somebody to come back that the same people now saying, oh, but why? But why? Tomorrow when we march and they shoot us, what will you say? What are you going to say then? When we had an opportunity to remove them, to allow us to continue our peaceful agitation, we are not killing anybody. We have no arms. We have no guns. We have no bullets. It is the army of the zoo, Fulani people, who are coming to kill us at the invitation of these people. And you're asking us to allow them to remain. Are you well at all? Are your senses intact? How is removing OKC? What has it got to do? What negative impact can it have on our agitation to restore Biafra? Let me tell you something to hasten it. It will make the coming of Biafra speedier. That is something you need to understand. It will speed up the process. If you don't understand, let me explain that to you. Our people must understand this. I said it a few days ago, and I will repeat this very morning. I will give you a very simple example to understand the pressures associated with fighting for your freedom from a principled standpoint. Very important you comprehend this. He said we're not going to vote for Bogota number elections. You all know this. What happened? Obiano was returned. The same Obiano today that campaigned for Jubril, the same Obiano that is now giving our land away to Mieti Yala. The same Obiano. When I pleaded with everybody in Anambra, do not vote. If all of us don't vote, no matter what they do, there will be no relevance, there will be no credibility. They said, no, we must. He is, I don't know what maybe they call him, I don't know what they call the idiot. He is this, let us, how can they, somebody told me that I want to collapse Anambra government. That do I know that if Obiano is removed, that the Speaker of Anambra House of Assembly then is a woman. I That was what somebody said. Because of kola nut. The person forgot all the atrocities of Obiano because a woman in Igbo tradition cannot bring out kola nut to give to men. That's all. That's the reason. And I kept preaching and I kept saying, this man, look at look at this man's antecedents, look at the way he behaves, look at what he did to IPOB. Can't you understand that he's not good for us? They said, no, leave it. If only the people vote that they can declare him the winner. And look at what we're suffering today. As I speak to you now, Anambra East has been given to Miyetti Yala with the gas and the oil under the ground. And what are you going to do about it? Of course, you will go on Facebook and other social media and write your usual rubbish. This will never happen. I forbid it. That's all. The same thing you do when a policeman or military officer shoots somebody dead at a checkpoint. What do you say? Oh, RIP, may his soul rest in peace. May her soul rest in peace. And you move on to the next topic. As hopelessly as you stumbled upon this one, you foolishly move on to the next meaningless topic. That is why Ibaza must go. Go to Aba and see the state of Aba. Go and see what Aba looks like. Go out. Anybody contemplating voting for Kezim, I want you to go outside and look on that very road you're standing on. And as I keep saying about history, if you don't know what a governor should do, go back and ask anybody who is as old as I am or older than me. Ask them, what was the administration of Sam Mbakwe like in Imo State? Was there any money then? Shagari was running an austerity regime. There was no money, but everybody in Imo State then even contributed, including secondary school students, contributed to help Mbakwe to build Imo State and make it what it was. Some of you don't understand this. You have just seen Facebook, so you jump out and you start to write rubbish that comes into your brain. You don't study, you don't read, you don't follow people's antecedents, their behavior and their record. Okay, see, Bazo has not paid any salary for the past 2 years. And this is his last 4 years in office. Imagine what he's going to do. Does it mean we no longer reason as a people? Whatever became of our people, this very sensible, intelligent race, what happened to them? I don't know what is happening. But in Iguacha this very day, despite their heavy military presence, everybody is ensuring that no decent person can ever vote for APC. It is not possible. Let me make this very clear to our people. During the war, let me say from 66 to 1970, there were things that were meant to be done that wasn't done then. We didn't do them. And that was why we lost that very war. What are those things? We did not properly secure our access to the sea. We did not consult properly with everybody, every stakeholder, upland, lowland, everywhere. We did not consult properly. We were being killed in the north and we had no choice than to declare an independent homeland. And look at the consequences today. I want everything I say, you write it down and you note it. The same people that joined the Fulani to fight against their own flesh and blood. When I say flesh and blood, because Ikwere is Igbo. When I say flesh and blood, because the people you call Ijo people today, they are from Anambra. If you don't know, let me explain to you very, very clearly. A sizable majority of them are from Arochukwu. If you don't know, let me explain it properly. If you're wondering where Efik people came from, they are part of the same extension of Ijo family. Because the Calabar that you hear today is the white man's corrupt version of Calabari. That's what it means. Calabar is corrupt version of Calabari. Some of you know, some of you don't. We come to has been painstakingly researched, considered, contemplated, evaluated. We've done everything humanly possible to make sure we arrive at the best decision that will move this very effort forward. And what is that decision? That this very day, anybody stepping out of the house this morning, right across Biafra land, You must understand that any vote for APC is a vote for slavery. Is a vote for a return to Egypt. Our land is ours. I said this a few days ago again, but most of you were not listening. You don't listen because you have your tiny prejudice inside you. Unless I say something that concerns what you have in your brain, the rest don't register. Let me explain it to you again, and very slowly. IPOB has been instrumental by virtue of our agitation to bring or to help facilitate various delegations from the UN, from the US, from the EU, and from Britain to come to Biafra land. Some of you were aware of this before I was released, that the immediate past British High Commissioner traveled the whole of Biafra land, went to the palace of Obi of Onitsha, and went to go and see our dear revered father, Achuzie of blessed memory, touring Biafra land, trying to gather support to see if I am killed in custody, what will be the consequences? Listen carefully this morning, because some of you don't listen to what we say here on this platform. They traveled all over the place. I know what Obi of Onitsha told them, and I also know what Achuzie told them. The people that they interviewed, the information or the advice they gave to the British High Commissioner is the reason why I was allowed to leave Kuche alive. Understand this very clearly. Had they said, or had the majority of them said, oh, please go, nothing will happen, just kill him, nothing will happen. What do you think? They will just quietly shoot me dead or poison me. And what will he say? He will say, oh, our leader is dead, rest in peace. Oh, the children, we feel sorry for them. Oh, and the wife, and that would be the end of IPOB and Biafra agitation. Because next time when you want to go and lead, your mom or your dad will say, or your husband or your wife will say, oh, you want to be like the dead Nnamdi Kanu, see he's dead. You want to go again. I know our people, that's how we reason. Are you going to deny it? But I will say thankfully, but as Chukwu Kikabema will have it. The British High Commissioner came away from his tour of Biafra land with the impression that should they touch me, that the land will burn. That was exactly what happened. That was why I was allowed to come out with very stringent conditions. So you don't understand that? Or you want me to come all the time on air to spell everything out? Simple, obey command and move on. No, you won't. You will write, you must write something to notice me, so people will notice you that you are there. Instead of attracting idiots with their fake Facebook accounts, talking rubbish as always, or Yoruba and Alamajiri on Facebook, answering useless Igbo names, writing nonsense, and you think you've arrived. IPOB is about discipline, dedication, focus, and indefatigability. Understand these words very carefully. We never retreat nor surrender. Every step we make is designed to bring Biafra closer. And that step today is to make sure that APC is obliterated from the face of the earth. Let me tell you what we have managed to accomplish. For some of you who may not know. Do you know that INEC in the zoo doesn't have all the papers that have been requested of them to tender or to make available to Atiku's lawyers? Do you know that? And do you know what that means? You see this Jubril that you see in Asarok today, Jubril, he can never stay there. Zoo is heading towards the Venezuela scenario. That is what we are heading to. So you don't know that? So no matter what happens, the zoo must collapse. One single day, people will realize that the decision to lift the boycott inexplicably contributes to the collapse of the zoo. They don't have it in the court. INEC is saying they want to ask Jubril. Their name is Independent National Electoral Commission. If your understanding of English language is so limited, it won't be to the extent of not appreciating or understanding what independence means, or independent in this context. They are independent. They conducted elections. They make rules and they make their own laws. Now the time has come for them to tender the materials, and they're saying they cannot do it without going to Jubilee that they rigged for. And you're telling me that the zoo can survive it? Of course not. They can't survive it. But because there is no instant result now, today, immediately, here, now, this second, it's not going to work. It's called trader mentality. Buying and selling mentality, which unfortunately we now possess in abundance. So have faith and believe in what we are doing, and you see that Biafra will be restored. All your murmuring can only delay us, as it delayed Israelites from entering this land. You read your Bible, but you don't learn from it. You study, but you don't learn anything from history. I'll remind you once again, the difference between Southern Sudan and Biafra is that they fought for 30 years and we only fought for 3 years and we capitulated. Today, Sudan is free. Today, they're still killing us in Biafra land. And whose fault is it? It is the fault of you and I. The fault of those that call themselves Niger Delta or South-South, that remove themselves from the Igbo. Those that say we are Nyomia, we're not Igbo. Those that say, oh, no, leave them, we are not together. Whereas our Conquer fraternity, Ekpe fraternity, everything we borrowed from Efik and from Ibibio people. There's somebody, an Efik man and Ibibio man, he's saying they are South-South, that they are more related to an Ido man than an Igbo man. You see how useless people are. This is how stupid people are. Today, on this very Saturday, the 9th of March, 2019, we are all united as one family to make sure that Fulani doesn't come into our land. If you don't understand the meaning of it, go and see how Hausa people, when I give you history, write it down and research it. Some of you are hopeless. You don't know anything. You are asking me, Nnamdi Kanu, to make the same mistake that Hausa kings made. Fulani came in. We are pursuing corruption. We are chasing corruption. Today, there's nothing like Hausa people anymore. It's only Hausa language. Hausa doesn't exist anymore. They are gone forever and ever. The same nonsense you want me to allow APC to come into our land was the same rubbish that Afon Jadid in Kwara. Today, they have lost Kwara. Yoruba can never ever recover Kwara State forever and ever. And you want the same nonsense to happen under my watch. You must be insane. You must be mad. Very, very mad. If you want to know what Biafra land will look like, please go to Logba. Go to Logba and see and have a look. Before you come on Facebook to write rubbish, before you go out to go and vote APC or even contemplate it, go to Logba and see what is happening there. Because it will affect you. Because our own selfishness and individualism have now been taken to very destructive levels, and I won't allow that to continue. It cannot continue. This is Radio Biafra. Time now is nearly a quarter to 9 a.m. here in England. Wherever you are, I believe it is the same number of minutes, quarter to the top of the hour, wherever you are. This is a live presentation. This is Radio Biafra. Our people are out in force, not to vote, but to make sure that Okezipaso doesn't stay in office. To make sure that Dave Umahi is removed. So that they will know how powerful IPOB is. So that they will know that if you go against the people will go against you. If we fail to send that very clear message, every idiot will come out and point their finger at IPOB. And when we do, or become radical, or become radicalized as a result, all of you now will be let me even ask you, when Peaceful IPOB was designated a terrorist group, how many of you protested? How many of you said no? But you have seen the North. Has any governor in the North, any Fulani governor ever come out to say that Mieti Yala is a terrorist group? They are the ones killing and sacking. They are the ones decimating communities. But because you are black, you have no conscience. It goes through one ear and goes out the other. You don't digest the information. Ask yourselves why. Syria is in the news. Every other place is in the news. Palestinians in the news. Everybody is in the news. Consider the number of Biafrans being killed on hourly basis and that of Palestinians. Then you tell me whose news is meant to be making it all over the world. But you're not being talked about.
and you don't want to know why nobody's talking about you. You don't want to know what, you don't even want to know the efforts that IPOB is making to ensure that the world talks about Biafra. You have no idea. All you do is wake up in the morning, you take your Technophone or Infinix and you put maybe data of 250 naira. You start to write nonsense on social media without asking questions. Biafra is going to be run by what the majority determines, not minority. It doesn't matter what you think. It is what the majority thinks that matters always. It's only in Black Africa that one idiot with a warped opinion about something will think that he or she is right. Once you test that very view they hold, you see that it holds no water after all. This very morning, regardless of what you see, hunger is a very bad thing. Regardless of how hungry you are, regardless of what the workers of iniquity might compel you to do, understand that if you collect money to go and vote for APC, to vote for AA, any of these Hausa Fulani sponsored people, you collect money to go and vote for PDP in Abia State, or you want to go, of course, remember that today is is it called supplementary election for Abaribe? Abaribe must be returned. You all know that very well. All those places they have rescheduled for elections to hold today regarding the fate of Abaribe. You must go there and vote for Abaribe. Understand that very well. When they give you the ballot paper containing Senate, you know to vote for Abaribe, who's in PDP. But when they give you the governorship form to vote for Okezi Bazo, do not vote for Okezi Bazo. Do not. If you do, we are finished. Do not vote for Uche Oga. If you vote for Uche, you think that Korawasa is from Awasa land. This one is from this one. I'm going to got an Hula Eme. Who was born in the sewage in front of Eme's house in Kanu. We are gone. Uche Oga, no. Ibazu, no. Why? Because they killed us. When I go to meetings, what they ask is always, but you have Biafrans who are in political office. Why are they not raising these issues? Why is it that all the people that you have that are very close to the corridors of power, they don't raise the issue of Biafra? In the meeting, full of diplomats, full of consultants, full of lobbyists, you then start telling them, but Hausa came and imposed them. Then they ask you, but where were you when they were imposing them on you? What did you do? You say, oh, nothing. I did nothing. They just imposed him. They will tell you, okay, this is my business card. Send me all the information you have with you, and I'll get back to you. Now, no, you're not serious. You know why IPOB, or how IPOB became the most formidable freedom fighting outfit in the world? Not by folding our hands. We took the battle to the enemy. Not with machete, not with knives, not with bow and arrow, not with bullets, not with guns, but with our never say die spirit. We sustained the pressure on the zoo until IPOB became a phenomenon. That's something you must know. Not through wishful thinking. And I have said it before, and I will say it again. What stops you? I even think that should we decide to march tomorrow, some of you will say, oh, he has been paid to bring war to us. So we don't know who, maybe it's, yes, I think I was accused in 2013 that foreign governments were paying me to destabilize Nigeria. So it didn't start today. It started from way before. It shows how poor you are. Everything about your thinking is money, because you're looking for money to buy kerosene to put in your stove. You're looking for money to go and buy fuel to put in your generator. You're looking for money to eat because you're so poor. Every decision in this world is governed by money. Everything you think about is about money, and that money you don't even have it. Do we have money? You see ordinary alamajiri, beggars on the streets of the north. Do they talk about money the way you people talk about money, like a bunch of demented fools? Because they have billionaires. Everybody do the same. Because they have billionaires. They say empty barrel make the most noise. You that have nothing in your pocket, you're the ones obsessing about money every step of the way. Yes, you don't even have it. Go out and make sure that Okezipazu is not there. If you are possessed by the devil or evil spirit, even consider supporting the rigging effort of Okezipazu. Also know that whatever befalls you tomorrow, you will bear the consequences. You will bear the consequences yourself. The same nonsense happening now has happened before. And I want people to listen carefully when I say these things. The same rubbish happening today has happened before. Do you know that Kaduna Airport, that is today an international airport, is meant to be built in Biafra land? You know who sold it to our people? Go and do your research. You people did not start selling your interest from today. But when K.O. Mbadiwe was selling our airport to Fulani people, he never knew that a time will come when his offspring, when his children, his grandchildren, his great-grandchildren will be begging for an international or an airport with genuine international status to be sited in Biafra land. Some of you do things without thinking about tomorrow and the future. And that is why Africa is so poor, because we never think about the future. It's always about today. How about those who were eating dinner shasha when Ojus Okalo was the governor? Where are they today? How about those who were doing so well when George was there? Where are they today? Now, your obsession now is, now that we have the opportunity and the money, let's just eat it. I will not give job to your children. It won't provide you any long-lasting security in terms of your well-being and your future. It will not build any roads at all. No bridges will be built as a result. You are helping in the impoverishment of your own people. That is one thing you need to understand, that the actions we take today will have long-lasting consequences forever and ever. That is why Fulani are moving the military in. As one Sabo is gone, they are recruiting many more. Because the spirit of rebellion is in you people. The spirit of betrayal is in you people. But I pray for you 7 times every blessed day that Chukwukika may win you of those devilish tendencies. That's my prayer every blessed day. That you may understand. Not everything will be explained to you. Understand that any day you understand that, your lives will be a lot better. IPOB is about restoring Biafra and nothing more. Every decision we make, every step we take, not fair weather friends, they are here today, they talk about IPOB, they talk about Nnamdi Kanu, tomorrow they are gone. Tomorrow they are gone. We are consistent. We never ever change. Consistency is the key. And the sooner you understand that, the better for you. You want us to come and tell you all our secrets so that Alamajiri will gonna eat from the back, as they are trying to do right now in our land. That is why our people must understand this. Any vote for APC is a vote for slavery. If you vote for APC, you are repeating the same mistakes that the Yorubas made while they lost Kwara State. You are repeating the same mistakes that the Hausa people made. That is why they lost their identity, their land, their call, everything to Fulani. Understand it very, very well. The same thing is happening in Benue and in the middle, across the middle belt, by force. Ask yourself, which other country in the world will you have such levels of abominable killings and no one is talking about it? Ask yourself that any day you can answer that, that day you will begin to appreciate what IPOB is doing. Because now you can't appreciate it. The human agenda. We must continue. We must continue because the gospel must be preached. Today we are sending a very clear and unambiguous message that all those against Biafra agitation, against freedom, we are not asking for anything. Allow our land to be developed. That's all we're asking for, nothing more, nothing less. But Fulani have said no. They don't want to go to school. They don't want to be developed. They believe in rank adede. We don't believe in rank adede. We want everybody to have the same opportunity as everybody else's child that is doing well. I'm not asking you to become envious. No. That is how a sane society is supposed to function. We must remove OKZ today because of what they have done. Because if you don't, remove him from office. By not voting for him. And by making sure that anywhere you see PDP stuffing ballot boxes, not even PDP, I will say OKZ, stuffing ballot boxes in Abia State. Remember that OKZ is the PDP governor, but he voted for Jubril. So he's moving over to APC once he's declared the winner. If we are stupid enough to allow that to happen. And then you come back and start, when you enter public transport, you'll be complaining, oh, teachers have not been paid, oh. Now is your opportunity to correct it. Today. Go to Aba and see how dirty, how filthy Aba is. They are getting more money now than Mbakwe got when he was the governor. Mbakwe employed MCC. Mbakwe employed Gufanti. Mbakwe employed Food. These three mega construction companies were in our land building roads every blessed day. Go and ask anybody. MCC, Gufanti, and Food. Go and ask people who are as old as I am. They'll remember it. Ask yourself, why is Aba as dirty as it is today? I go before you think about OKC. Go outside and look at your lives. It's Donald Trump from Isama Falubu, but you people are queuing to travel to the USA for a better life. There is a man from our mama that some of you will kill today for a British visa. They can be in Britain. Not to contest elections, but at least to work and have the opportunity of having a decent living. So I want you to think. It's not where somebody comes from. It's about what they are capable of doing. Any day we realize this, then we would have advanced because of Biafra restoration. And that's what I want us to do this very day. I want us to start today. Hunger is now a legitimate weapon of enslavement of the people. Talk less of now that you have been starved. You're a teacher. Maybe your husband is a teacher. You've not been paid for 2 years. So anybody that will give you money for pure water, 5 naira, is your savior. Same person that held back your salary for 2 years will now come and be dangling. Maybe they're holding your salary worth over 4 or 5 million. They're now dangling 10 naira in front of you to buy kerosene, and you're jumping at it. You're no different from a chicken that they caught and plucked all the feather, torture it, and left it naked. Any day you sprinkle corn in front of that very chicken, it will still come to you. We have turned ourselves into animals, I'm telling you, and it's very, very shameful. Today, we start to correct that anomaly. From today, we begin to correct that very impression that we only think with our stomach. Today, we send a very clear message that you cannot kill our people in our land, our children in our land, and expect us and expect to go back into power. Okay, see, as we came, shoot aside till this very moment. Using army to terrorize everybody. So you don't know it's okay that brought all those people. And then you're considering going to vote for him. It is unbelievable. Unbelievable. And we cannot allow that to hold. We cannot allow that to happen. There is somebody called Chima Owezuoke. He is supervising the rigging for Kezi in Umunuchi. As I speak now. As I speak now. Somebody called Chima Uwezuoki is supervising the rigging for Okezi Azu. Tomorrow they will tell you that Nigeria is bad. Let's move the country forward. They are moving the country backwards today. Tomorrow they'll be talking nonsense. These are black people. Only the need of the stomach that counts. They are buying votes also at the compound of one state House of Assembly candidate for PDP. Oh my goodness me. In Mbala, in Amoda, and Omuak polling units has been designated for massive rigging. Ojos Okalo, Nkiruka, Onye Georgia has control of the army now in Abia. In Abia North. That's where AP is doing their own rigging in Abia North. So the only way you can become relevant now is you go to the north and you pledge allegiance to them. You bow down before them. You promise them to be a very good slave. And then they give you the army to go and kill people as you wish, to rig election as you want. Are these the people you want to allow any semblance of governance? Look at what they are doing. How many Fulani people, how many Fulani politicians will ask for soldiers to go and kill their own people because they want to serve an Igbo man? No, it's only an Igbo man that will do that. Only anyone that will do that. Very, very sad indeed. But we must continue. This is Radio Biafra. This very morning, the time now is getting close to 4 minutes past 9 a.m. in the morning. And I believe the same number of minutes past there where you are. It's a live presentation from Radio Biafra. It's a live address this very morning concerning what we need to do to ensure that we avenge the death of our people. That we avenge the death of those killed by Operation Python Dance. That we punish those responsible for bringing Fulani men into our land. Because they will pay very dearly for it. If you have forgotten those that died, I have not. Some of you have, you're black people, you have very short memories. You don't remember anything for long. Imagine Armistice Day celebration is still being remembered in Europe. First World War, that was fought over 100 years ago. If you set up Armistice Day commemoration tomorrow, everybody will come because a white European understands the meaning of sacrifice and its essence. But in Black Africa, our mothers that fought and died for us 90 years ago, nobody remembers them. There is no monument, there is no statue, there is no memorial, nothing. World War II is being remembered till this very moment across Europe. Who remembers Biafra? If not for IPOB. But some people will still come and say, oh, target of me, move about if you want to go about your business. This agitation for Biafra has allowed me to kind of study the mindset of your average black person. And I'm sorry to say that sometimes there's nothing to write home about. Some of us studied abroad. Some claim they have Western orientation. Some claim they're exposed. Some claim they are learned. And I keep asking them, why is it that the Armenia genocide was recognized? Why is it that Rwanda genocide was recognized, but Biafra genocide not recognized? Some people don't even know the importance of having the Biafra genocide recognized. They don't even know the meaning of it. If you tell them tomorrow that we are pursuing for recognition of Biafra genocide, they say, no, but how does it get us Biafra? They don't have any idea. When we lament that the Nobel Prize was not given to Chinua Achebe, but instead was bought by Obasanjo to give to his brother Wole Soyinka, people don't understand the meaning of it. They think, oh, it's nothing, it's just Nobel Prize, oh, it's nothing now. Oh my goodness. I'm again here warrior. All these things that we are pursuing, our 30th of May remembrance would sit at home. Everything that we do every blessed day is designed to bring Biafra closer. And this very morning, on this very day, we must send a clear message to the world that Fulani Caliphate is not welcome in our land. That APC and all the affiliate parties and those in PDP working for APC will have no peace in our land. That is why Okezipas must be removed. That is why Imo State must not fall into the hands of the enemies, namely APC and AA. That is why Dave Umahi must be removed. That is why Mike must remain. That is why every other governor from the south must remain, or else we are gone. Thank you very much for listening, and I will be back again throughout the afternoon and also the evening to ensure that our people do what is right and get it right for once. Thank you very much.